Hi guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're talking about the rise of Termite Terrace. Let's get started. In 1933, the Warner Brothers animation studio, nicknamed Termite Terrace, was trying to find a replacement for their Looney Tunes character. The then star Buddy had as much personality as a piece of paper. It was decided that the characters appearing in a new Fritz Freleng cartoon would take the place of Buddy. These characters would appear in the Merry Melody I Haven't Got a Hat. And of course, one of these characters would go on to be the new star of Looney Tunes. I'm talking about the very popular character named Beans the Cat. The last Buddy cartoon ever released was Buddy the G-Man, and the fact that Buddy barely appears in the cartoon means that the animators was dying to get rid of him. The very first non-Buddy cartoon was A Cartoonist's Nightmare, which released in 1935. Even though Beans was a step up from Buddy, which was supposed to be their main character, he was still very bland. So, because of this, the audience became more attached to Porky than with Beans. And when Leon Schlesinger realized this, he put in a new mandate. They had to get rid of every character introduced in I Haven't Got a Hat except for Porky. Now, Looney Tunes was just about him, and the animators went wild. They each had their own version of Porky. In one, he could be a kid, and another he could be an adult. In one cartoon, he could be a milkman, and another he could be stopping a bomb threat. Each director and animator had their own interpretation of Porky. It wasn't until 1937 when Bob Clampett finalized the design for Porky. Speaking of which, in 1937 they released the cartoon Porky's Duck Hunt, and this introduced a brand new Looney Tunes character who was originally supposed to be a one-off. Unlike Porky, Daffy was an agent of chaos, whooping and hollering around the world that bent to his will, and causing problems for the people around him if they deserved it or not. Since Porky had to be in every Looney Tune, the directors usually paired him and Daffy together, a straight man funny man dynamic. In 1938, since Porky's Duck Hunt was so popular, they made a sequel called Porky's Hare Hunt, and in this cartoon, another very important character in Looney Tunes history was introduced.
Don't let me worry you, Chief. I'm just a trifle pixelated. Look out below! Here I come!
We used the rabbit character, named Happy Rabbit, in the cartoon Presto Changeo. Later that same year, Ben Hardaway reused Happy Rabbit in the cartoon Harem Scarum. Hardaway gave him a redesign. He added a coat of gray fur, yellow gloves, and a big pair of buck teeth. Look familiar?
All the world was gay, swinging on its way. Things were looking brighter day by day.
Chuck Jones reused Hardaway's design for the rabbit in the cartoon Elmer's Candid Camera. But there was a problem. The audience didn't like Happy Rabbit. He was more annoying to the audience than the characters he was supposed to be annoying to. But they wanted to give him one more try, one more time to make it big. So they gave that cartoon to the best director they had, Tex Avery. And on July 7th, 1940, they released the cartoon A Wild Hare, and the world of animation changed forever.
What's up, Doc?
This was Bugs Bunny's very first cartoon, and he became a smashing success, quickly becoming the new star of Looney Tunes. But what about Porky and Daffy? The directors realized they couldn't do much with Porky, so he stopped regularly appearing in solo cartoons and almost exclusively appeared in cartoons alongside Daffy. Speaking of which, the directors still found ways to put Daffy in entertaining and funny situations. In 1942, Bob Clampett directed the cartoon A Tale of Two Kitties, and in this cartoon, a new Looney Tunes character was introduced.
I thought I taught a putty cat. I did. I taught a putty cat.
This was Tweety Bird's very first cartoon. He had no feathers, He was a lot more mean-spirited than in his other cartoon, and his original name wasn't even Tweety, it was Orson. But this did lay the foundation for one of the best Looney Tunes characters of all time. In 1945, Frizz Freeling thought that Bugs needed a new opponent, a new foe to go up against besides Elmer Fudd. So he made the cartoon Hair Trigger, and he introduced Yosemite Sam. This cartoon established a few things about Yosemite. He was very trigger happy, had a foul temper, and he was very, very short. Two more characters debuted in 1945, the next being in the Chuck Jones cartoon Adorable Kitty, his name being Pip Lippu, who did everything in his power to get with a cat that he thought was a skunk, and they revealed at the end of the cartoon that he was faking his French accent and that he has a wife and two kids.
Moon, moon. The Henry. Just trying to remove a cinder from the lady's eye, dearie. Cinder, just try and remove from eye.
The last character introduced in 1945 debuted in the first Freeling cartoon, Life with Feathers, and this character later went on to be paired up with a certain yellow canary.
Fluffer and Thuckatash! Squab!
This was Sylvester's very first cartoon, but we'll get back to him later. In 1946, Bob McKimson directed the cartoon Walkie Talkie Hockey, and even though he reused the character from a 1942 Chuck Jones cartoon named Henry Hawk, this cartoon is best known for introducing another Looney Tunes mainstay.
And I say I've seen a chicken around here. Pay attention, Sonny. Somewhere. Chicken? Chicken! Oh, yes, there's a chicken. I say there's a chicken for you. This boy doesn't pay attention.
This was Foghorn Leghorn's very first cartoon, and after this, most of the cartoons that Bob McKimson directed were Foghorn cartoons. In 1947, Frizz Freeling finally decided to pair up Sylvester and Tweety in the cartoon Tweety Pie, and this cartoon is notable for being the very first Warner Brothers cartoon to win the Academy Award for Best Short Subject. In 1948, Chuck Jones thought that Bugs needed another villain to go up against, so he directed the cartoon Hair Devil Hair, and another regular Bugs villain was introduced.
What's up, Doc? I'm going to blow up the Earth. Yeah? Well, you sure picked a nice day for it. Hey, nice looking weapon you got there. Well, I'll be seeing you around, Shorty.
This was Marvin the Martian's very first cartoon, which means they were able to do a lot more sci-fi plots with Bugs. In 1949, Chuck Jones directed the cartoon The Fast and the Furious, and in this cartoon, he introduced another classic Looney Tunes duo.
Beep, beep. Beep, beep. Beep, beep.
This was the Roadrunner and the Coyotes' very first cartoon. And that's it. That's the rise of Termite Terrace. Now, the 50s and 60s of Warner Brothers cartoons are very different from the 30s and 40s, but that's a story for another day. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.